We've seen ups and downs. I know you don't understand the things that I've said. I just to say it anyway. I cannot put it all away. This means a lot to me. This means a lot to me. It's family time.
We are going to talk about, I think we've done quite a number of episodes on rejection. We've done 2 episodes now. And so we could just put everything in totality, which we could just like finalize that before we move to our topic of discussion for today.
So welcome one and all, both past and present subscribers and lovers of our show. We want to say welcome and thank you for, giving us your ears, giving us your attention, your time, which is, as we've learned on this show, your most essential resource. You make it a point to listen, support us with your feedback, and also, share this show to others so that they can also be blessed and impacted. We really appreciate every effort. So we want to also use this opportunity or this episode to crown rejection. We want to put everything together in perspective and look at it, with the previous episodes. If you really have followed the trend of how we discussed rejection and everything that we have looked at, the dissection of all the phases of rejection, we get to know that we have to win the personal war in our head, in our mind, before we get to win the war out there. Because if you genuinely, not faking it, genuinely accepting yourself, knowing your weaknesses, knowing where there are gaps, lapses, holes in your mental well-being as a person, as a human being, if you can really identify that, accept it fully, and know that, okay, this is where I need to improve, or this is where I think I should open up and allow people, experts, or even my environment to impact positively on me, then I think that is a step in the right direction, as we have previously discussed. So now we are looking at how you can approach the war out there. Even if you look at your approach, you fix your approach, then you can definitively align yourself to winning, okay, and fully knowing how you can really win the war out there. Winning doesn't mean that it is something that will not, maybe a particular situation or a particular instance will not reoccur. But it's like you having the antidote to actually identify every situation, by way they come, and knowing how you can navigate your way through them so that you can always be on the winning side. So that is what we are coming to look at. Have I spoken in your mind, AJ?
Yeah.
So, okay, let's attack it from this angle. Winning the war out there. Rejection, as the world or everybody would look at it. We are in society. That is where we all get our foundations from. Or that is how we even get to interact with the world, through society, influenced by systems and, run by systems. So there is no point we can say we want to be successful, we want to live, and we want to feel accomplished in, talking about accomplishment in its sense that you will not interact with people. Mm-hmm. You would always have to rub it some way, somewhere with people. You interact, the people you meet every day, where your association really centers around. It could be your workplace, it could be anywhere you ply your trade, or it could be where you really identify yourself, or where you really identify your purpose. And in all these spheres we are talking about, people are really involved. So how we want to look at this is in a sense that if I'm always associating with you, okay, how will you rub off me positively? And at where should I draw the line that, okay, this is where I would take, or this is what I would take, and this is what I wouldn't take. This is where I would draw the line in terms of, okay, what you would do, you as a person, your experiences, and the lens you view life with. will not be borrowed by me. And I would also be focused on what I want to do. Or maybe your actions might affect me this way or that way. So let me position myself at this particular angle so that I wouldn't be obstructed or I wouldn't feel that I am living somebody else's life. Do you get what I mean? Or I've said a lot of things.
Yeah, you've said it. I'm still wrapping my head around.
Okay, so I'm saying that, okay, in a nutshell, I'm saying that if I am always associating out there, okay, where should I stand in my mind about if I feel rejected? Where should I stand in my mind? What should be my approach going out there and interacting with people?
After you've been rejected?
No, after you feel like, okay, I have won the war inside of me. Let's take it. I have won the war inside of me. What I'm saying is that for you not to feel rejected or for you not to feel like you don't belong, especially in associations or where you find yourself, where can you draw the line and say, okay, this effect or the way this, maybe for example, the way you rob of me or the way I impact on you, where will you say that, okay, this is Nyame's, this is the template I would want to work with Nyame with. This he does, or maybe his actions or perhaps his statements and things that he will do or the way he receives me, this is why I can draw the line that it is safe for me to move with him or it's not safe for me to move with him. Because when it comes to rejection, okay, I really feel that it is expanded by the weight of people, the opinion of people. That is how it's expanded. If you feel rejected, it's about my opinion of you. So I'm saying that where would you weigh it and see that, okay, this my opinion of you matters. Does it matter? Should I receive it? How should I process it? So this is what I'm actually trying to communicate.
I believe it's by where the place you've the position that you've placed the person. So how you relate with someone, family, someone who is family is, quite different from how you relate with friends, work colleagues, classmates, bosses, superiors, and stuff like that. So if on the family level, there's not really much of boundaries and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But like at a friendship level or colleagues and stuff like that, feeling negative rejection. You see, for rejection, we have the positive side and the negative side.
Sure.
Because, you are a human being. Everything you do will not be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are times that people have to look you in the face and tell you this, you would have to pause on this a little bit. No, this is not a time yet for you to start up. Could you reconsider this and that?
Mm-hmm.
And that it's in a positive light, because these things, if you work at it, you could have a great comeback, as I spoke about in the previous episode. But when we talk about negative rejection, I think that usually is how you yourself carry yourself. That's how what translates into the relation that people have with you. And beyond you setting values for yourself and standing up for yourself, you also have to be communicative. If I have a relation with someone, you have to clearly state what your boundaries are. You have to clearly state to the person what you require of them from such association, such that when the line is drawn overboard, where these negative rejections come in because they think you are not matching up to their behavior and such communications have not gone forth, then that is when you will feel a negative rejection. So first off, I would say that knowing yourself and communicating out what you expect in what association you find yourself. If I got your question correctly.
Okay, that is very, very, very like true with what you said. That is exactly the answer I think I was expecting. Not necessarily that I was asking, but I just wanted us to elaborate further on it. So I'm saying, if, for example, I'm in a relationship with someone, okay, is it the right thing to do? Let's say I am coming from a previous relationship. This is what I went through. This is what I experienced. Okay, if I met you and I poured out everything that particular partner, being he or she did to me. Okay, for example, if it is you, then it's a he. If it is me, it's a she. Did to you. If you communicate it, you flow you flow on everything, on every angle, through communication to this your new partner. Are you not trying to, in another sense, say that this is how you want to be treated? If you get my question. For example, if I tell you everything that I have experienced, maybe it wasn't a pleasant experience, and I tell you what I went through, I tell you everything. Okay, one, meaning is I told you because it's not a pleasant experience, and it's like we with the analogy that we don't want it to reoccur.
Yeah, I think that is mostly the reason
why we are even communicating. Yeah. Is it that, are you not establishing a ground that this is how you want, this is how?
You're establishing a ground that this is how not you want to be treated.
But if that is, I'm trying to say, with what you say, like what you think about yourself would also mean a lot, or it will weigh a lot on how people also view and treat you. I get it. But if you carry that as a banner everywhere, okay, maybe you are saying it, perhaps you are saying it on for the sake of closure or for the sake of how not to be treated, but you wrap your personality, you wrap your sense or state of being around that story, and that is your banner that you are projecting into every relationship, every room you find yourself, in every communication standpoint. Okay, looking for love per se, or maybe you want to be actually pitied or looking for acceptance. Is that a right frame for you to carry yourself? If you really find yourself in that boat, it might not necessarily be like a male or female relationship. It shouldn't necessarily be a romantic relationship. It could also be normal, like it could be normal life. Yeah, normal life. For example, I met you. I told you my problems. The first day I met you, I told you every single thing that has ever went wrong in my life. How would you view me?
No, but you don't go about telling me a first time, someone you've met for the first time, everything. So I get what you're saying, but what I was saying, it was in relation to in the course of the friendship. So if you faced past rejections or heartbreaks and stuff like that, and you are starting a new association with people, and you don't go about on the first day, disclosing everything that has happened in your past, but in the course of, the friendship journey, there will be times that you would speak about deep things, and that's when probably you bring that up. But I think it's important you bring it up, because some people may unknowingly hit on a place that you've already healed from.
Okay.
And the wounds can reopen.
Okay, I think you are speaking my language. So do you communicate on the ground based off you recovering, or let's say being healed, or you are communicating on the base that this is what hurts me, or this is what breaks me, or this one is what
but
triggers
if it broke you before, there's a high tendency it will break you again, even if you healed from it. That's
okay,
what
so
I believe.
that is what that brings us to the same point. If you have not won the war within, you would always feel like the word is not doesn't have space for you, or the word can't really
But even
contain.
if you heal from the wound within, still something can trigger another wound.
Can you call that healing?
What if it's a new wound?
I call that coping.
So the thing is, you can heal from something completely. From what I believe, you can heal from it absolutely 100%. Did you know that about 60% of the people who watch the Talking Drum podcast have not subscribed? Yes, if you are one of them, we urge you, we plead with you to subscribe to our channel, share the link when the videos come out, and keep on liking the videos. Thank you so much for being a part of our journey. But someone can do something. It may not necessarily have to be the exact same thing. It could be similar, which will open a completely different wound, not necessarily reopening the previous one. That's what I believe.
I still don't call it healing.
Because no, you've healed. Because we are humans, and we are open to emotions and all that. Our emotions is an integral part of us. Unless probably for a few instances, but no matter how tough you become from certain things, there are still some things that will get into your emotions. The difference will be that your response to it may change, but it doesn't mean that thing that still does not strike you in a way. It could.
Okay, so that is very intelligent. I'm not saying that healing from something means forgetting. Okay, you might have I have a lot of scars on me because I was very, very, as a child, I've already confirmed it, though, but I was very wild and very active. So it gave me a lot of scars on my legs. I have a lot of them, quite a lot of them. But I look at them now, it's like, I could have avoided all these things. I could have avoided them. And I'm saying that if I look at the scar, I don't feel any pain over there.
Yeah.
But it remembers me.
Right.
About that particular incident or what I went through.
Yeah.
So how does the scar communicate to me right now? Does it really communicate pain, or it communicates something else? The scar alive or the scar on my skin doesn't mean that I'm going through the same phase.
Yeah.
It's probably telling me that it's now a memory. So ideally, I'm saying that we can't delete memories from our head.
No, exactly.
We can't bury them. They are our memories, both the good and the bad. At times sometimes we remember things that we have done, things we usually do regret, and we kill ourselves for it. And it's like, it has been like that for years. Maybe you probably, or me sitting here, people watching will be like, whilst I remember this thing, it could even be, for example, I'm not saying we are even digressing. I was speaking to this friend of mine, and the conversation nearly led to relationship conversations, and she eventually talked about this ex of hers. And the moment the guy's name popped up,
Tears.
I would have even said tears would have been quite better for me. I think maybe cry it out and let's talk about it. The aggressive, hey,
Anger.
it don't go better for you. Say people.
As well.
Any day I mentioned this, but I guess I was like, hey, my guy, chill. It's like cursing and all that. I was like, and she'll be like, hey, I know it's past. I've healed. I was like, no, you've not healed. So like, it doesn't bother me. That's how I was like, you see the way you are talking about it. Look, you are bleeding. It's not like you are bleeding. It's not necessarily like it doesn't work. It does bother you, because if it didn't, or if it's not something that worries you, the words coming out of your mouth will show. So what am I saying? Memories will still be there. But once you get to accept those things, that it didn't happen to you, it happened for you. It happened so that it can reshape your thinking. It happened that it could, make you better. It could strengthen you. So if I interact with you and you hit on something that I think I don't want to remember. And it triggers memories, it triggers events that I want to bury. Okay, my point on everything that we are discussing, that if it sends you into a frenzy or into a moment where you think wounds, like you get to experience all those emotions all over again, then you haven't healed from it.
Healed. Then there are quite a number of things I've not healed from.
Oh.
You know, the last time I was speaking to you about my friend who passed, I don't know if I'm ever going to heal from that. Because this year, I told myself, this year, I will not cry.
Yeah.
But like the whole day passed, I got myself busy trying to not remember, and evening came, and then I was like, nah. Like, why did he, like, it keeps coming to me, like, why? You know, the reason why I think his death bothers me so much, which I've not, I think I've only shared it with one person. You see, today I was speaking to two friends of mine.
Yeah.
I felt for a season of my life, I became so detached from most of my friends. And all my friends can acknowledge that fact. I became so detached from them due to a couple of reasons that at that time I could not disclose. And so he was one of like my close friends. Like he could call me.
No, he could get to you.
He could get to me, and I mean, yeah, I was there for his wedding, his engagement. I mean, yeah. So after that,
you've been through the whole journey.
And after his wedding, I wanted to give him space, but yeah, it was once in a while, and I call, and then this phase of my life came where I was detached from friends and for some personal reasons, and I think that was the time he got sick. And he never mentioned it to me, because I mean, he was sick, but his birthday the next year, because of that same detachment and where I was working and stuff like that, I wasn't really exposed to outside and all that. I missed that birthday. And so the next day, which was the 23rd, he called and he was like, how could like you of all, it does not happen. What happened to you, AJ?
Things are not tallied.
And I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm battling a lot of things and all that. We talked, and he was like, for next year, you should
come what may.
Come what may. I made that promise. I was like, I would not forget your birthday. And that was the same year that he died. We didn't actually get to the next year for me to redeem the promise. So I feel like, and during that time, from February through to May, he was not well, and he never mentioned it. But as a friend and how close we were, I should have been able
made
to
that
know.
Effort too.
No, I didn't know. Because he didn't, but I should have been able to know. Had I not been distant, I would have known he wasn't well, and I could have gone to look for him and stuff like that. So when he came, he died, that I got to know of all that. There was this guilt. I think that is the reason why I've still not been able to get past it, because I could just not wrap my head around it. I was trying so hard, waiting for the next year to make it up.
Yeah.
And it never came to pass. And so when the date for his funeral came, I was like, I don't even think I can go and watch the body, because I had so much guilt. So much guilt that I just couldn't do. And the frustrating part was not being able to communicate with anyone about how I felt at that time.
That is the point. That is where I think that is what makes everything worse.
So it made everything, compounding issues and all that, until to the point that now, anytime I hear you, like any random name person say, and then I just get that. And so I think the reason why I'm talking about all this is that sometimes they are relating issues, connecting issues is intertwined. It's not that straightforward. The reason why sometimes it's difficult to get past certain rejections or certain negativity or setbacks that come your way sometimes is because like there's a little trapping of like an interconnection of other issues that really need some deep level of communication for someone to get to know the root cause before those wounds can heal.
Can heal.
Otherwise, you will keep on pretending and coping.
Yeah. So it's like you're going to be coping with the injury until it aggravates.
Yeah.
Then you feel like that is very true. I can relate. I feel you on that. You see, I told you about this. My cousin, my brother, friend, who also passed away in the accident. I shared it. I've shared it with you. But I thought things would never work. Like I thought, and I'm still thinking, although we know that the world will never be the same without them. Okay, and maybe, perhaps, we boldly believe that the world will be a better place with them in it. Okay, but as I said, if you remember the last time, these are the driving forces behind the reason why we do what we do. Okay, the reason why we are here talking about this stuff. Because if not for everything, one person might hear your story, could be able to relate. Okay, this is what I need to do. If I can forgive myself for the guilt, if I can believe that opening up, finding the root cause of it, and knowing that if I get to accept it for being that, okay, knowing that, okay, it has given me a template to reach out, know how to understand. So it's like if there is another variation of the situation, that means that I have another friend that I am very, very cool with, I can relate to. This is a template I can follow. That, okay, I need to address things. We need to communicate in a way that will make communication effective and potent. Okay, randomly, you can just call that one person something wrong, It gives you a whole dynamics about life that you get to understand that, okay, this is how we get to do life.
Yeah.
So I really feel you on that when it comes to that, because these are the mirrors we should be looking into. Because if we haven't looked in those mirrors and got to accept ourselves for, the things that has happened to us, if we get to accept it, we get to understand our limitations, then we know that this is the way we can relate with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
If I get to hear that name, it pops up in my mind. It means that, okay, I need to do better. Maybe perhaps it could be an alarm for you, telling you that, AJ, have you checked up on your brothers? Have you done this? Have you done that? So it becomes like a checkpoint. When you always get there, it always remembers you to be positive and do good. But it doesn't derail you. I'm not saying when we remember these people, we wouldn't miss them or we wouldn't feel what we felt for them. But it should be a point where we get to understand and we get to be stronger. And it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes work. And it takes a different version of you understanding yourself as a person before you can really relate to outside. I've really gone through this phase many times. Recently, just last year, I also had to bury one of my brothers again. And I told Pastor this, but I didn't tell anybody this. He was one of the people that we really did everything, negative together. Everything that we thought fun, having our fun in the world, doing things that, we know definitively, or I know now definitively, that if I should have perished at that time, I know that there is no salvation for myself. But I got to have an opportunity to even redeem myself. And I didn't offer him that opportunity. and he got to die in that predicament. So at times I feel the guilt that perhaps it was we should have communicated more. The same thing. It was like, oh, now I relocated to the US. I don't talk to him like we used to. I don't call him. I don't do that. But, that grudge, that sense of, okay, later, I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you when it's convenient. Issues that you don't have time to clarify.
Yeah.
And it's like when it's too late, you just get to live in a pool of guilt and could haves and should haves and what would have been. But it also gives you the opportunity to be like, okay, if I didn't get the opportunity to tell him that, I have the opportunity to tell this one that.
One else. That is true.
So that is how we get to move. So based on on the phase of rejection that we are talking about, perhaps our emphasis have always been on the root causes. If you don't accept yourself, the world wouldn't accept you.
Yeah.
Okay, so accept yourself in the personal space that you are, especially in your thought process of you forgiving yourself. Okay, being open to understanding that if I win the war inside, definitely the war outside will be very easier because you have the strategy, you have the blueprint. Okay. It would also lead us to the weight of public opinion. Okay, so this one will always, it's like the curtain raiser to the weight of public opinion.
Where you from? What you want? Where do you wanna go? You indecisive.